before I was talking about creating a drop-off point and then flattening the ground a bit more underneath these 3 raised beds, but now I've seen it there's only a tiny slope, and to be honest, I think I'm just going to leave it as it is. So I'm just going to build up these other ones on top, attach them together, and then that'll be this bit complete until I get the gravel to put in between them to walk on. And then what I'll probably do is start bringing some soil from the orchard area and just putting in the soil in here that will eventually mix with the compost that we're getting. Okay, after some consideration of a thought I already had, but then my mum suggested the same thing, so I thought if 2 of us are saying it, it should probably be done. Is that instead of having 6 here, which originally I wanted to do, I mean there's enough room to walk around them and work them. As you can see, I can go through here, I can go up in between here and still work all the way to the back, but it's just more sort of awkward. So what I'm going to do is take out 2 of these and just have 4 in here, and then just bring them closer to the middle so you can work all the way around them, which will probably be easier in the long run, and you do get to see the rockery wall a bit better, which again is purely aesthetic, so it doesn't really matter, but we can, because I was thinking I'll keep them in there if I can't think of anywhere good to put the other raised beds, which I could have put them around behind here, but then they would get barely any light during the day. I mean, it's a nice flat area, but the sun obviously comes up from over here, so you'd only get sun on them from like there until basically over there, so it's not really the best spot until, let's say, the whole garden's full up of places and we don't have anywhere else to put them. Then that spot could be used, or maybe just for stuff that don't mind not having that much sun. I'll take apart 2 of them, bring them up here, but instead of reassembling them as doubles, what I'll do is I'll put 2 on top of here, so there'll be 2 doubles there, and then I'll assemble the other 2 together as they were before and put a double there, so there'll be 3 doubles here and this one. So this will be area fill up with dubs. I'll just move these garlics that we've got going, or this garlics. Is that kind of like, do you say garlic? Oh, pass me with them garlics. I don't know if I've ever heard that said, so maybe you don't use that in the plural sense, you just, anyway, I don't know what I'm rambling about. So I'll probably take out that slab there, move the garlic over somewhere, and then I'll put the double there. I've got that first double there, just need to screw it together. What I'm doing right now is taking out the compost mixed with the soil that were in these 2 and just putting it into here. I'm going to start actually putting it on the potato area instead, since I want to put a different type of compost in the raised beds. I'm not like completely certain on this compost, so I don't really mind putting it here where I think it would do okay, like in the ground. But what I'm doing is now I've got my first section there, I've got the next one's going to be here sort of, and then I'm just going to extend it pretty much out to, if you can see, sort of this line here. So it'll basically be from there all the way across, just potato area, and I have a couple of different varieties of it. Let's get this potato patch sort of ready. I mean, I still need to take down a lot of this stuff, which I'm just doing like quite far between sessions on it, so there will be stuff falling on top, but it doesn't really matter that much. I can just scrape it off. I've got this half done, or 2/3 done, and I thought at the back here, obviously you can see there was one of these cement poles dug into the ground already. Concrete poles anyway, so there's one dug in there already, and I knew I had a few just below, not this pile of logs here, but below these sort of leafy logs and I knew there was one in there, and it sort of fits near enough to the end of the patch I'm doing here, so I'm going to stick one there, and then I found I'm just going to get the sledgehammer and smash another one up to sort of create a definitive line here as well. So I just have it there, and like there is, again, it's covered up, you can't see it right now, but right here there's a line of bricks sort of dividing it into that section, and I'll put another load going along here, so it'll be like 3 separate sections. I think we've got either 2 or 3 different cultivars of potatoes, so I'll just do a few different ones. If it's only 2, then it doesn't really matter putting the divider there, but I'm going to do it anyway, just because it creates like a slight path, even though it's a brick length, but it's enough to just have a little wander in between and access the backs, which is why I'm going to leave the back mound here as well. If I really need to, I can get out behind it, and also I don't want to pull that back in case more of the retaining wall starts falling down. So what I'm going to do now is dig out just underneath this. The potato patch is complete. Tiny little gap here where there's no border, but the border doesn't really matter either way. Could have had none and it would have been fine. So I've sectioned it off into 3 bits. Again, I didn't really need to do that. We can see which one's the best, and it's good to have multiple, just in case one's more susceptible to a certain type of disease or whatever, and it then takes out the whole crop. Whereas if you have multiple, some are more resilient to certain diseases and stuff like that, viruses, whatever. And yeah, it'll be a good little experiment to see which ones grow best. But I'll always probably have multiple different types on the go. I know one's Mars Piper, or I think it's called that, and the other one I don't remember the name of. And I've got all the doubles set up. I'm pretty sure last time they weren't done, so that one I also put there, and these 2 were just an extra one put on top of either one of them. Down here is now 4 instead of the 6, and I think that was a good idea. It's a good thing my mum said that as well, to make me do it, so you can see the edging better now. And I think the phone's glitching up a bit on the camera there, but yeah, this looks fine. Before I get to cutting them logs for the rose beds, I'm actually going to start getting behind here more, so I can actually create a walk sort of trail that can go straight across over to there, since now it's sort of like I've created access from like there all the way down, whereas before it was basically blocked off to where the first few of these branches start. But now I'm going to come from this way and just complete that the whole way through. And there you go, finally got a channel through. Got a load of holly down there that I need to move. But yeah, it's pretty much open the whole way down now to the very end, which is sweet. Let me just jump down from here. So I'm going to leave obviously this bramble at the back that is intertwined with the fence, so I might as well just leave it there. There you go. Just walking through some dense bit of forest and just find some random lake, which I guess you can fish on if they got a little platform there. I don't know how you actually get to this with fishing equipment. We just got back and we've got some chickens finally, after getting cancelled twice. Is the gate open, do you know? Yeah. Gate is luckily open, which is a good sign, but also is a bad sign because we left it unlocked. Let's take the chickens up to their new home. So when we lifted up the other box, they just fell straight through the bottom. Luckily they were still in the car, so they didn't fall from any distance. They literally were on the bottom already. With this box I picked up from the bottom, so it didn't fall out through onto the floor, which would have been a bad situation. But here we go, another 2 chickens. Finally got chickens in the coop. Like I said before, we got cancelled twice by another company, and then within this, and like that took about a month worth of just them saying come in 2 weeks, and then we came another 2 weeks, they're cancelled again, waited another 2 weeks, cancelled again. These guys, we got them ordered and picked them up within a week, so way easier. And now we actually have chickens in a chicken coop. Oh yeah, it's actually quite surreal. We finally got the chicken.
It's really hard to actually get a good picture.
Oh, took a crap already.
Oh, get him out.
We better start laying us some eggs.